Question that comes up pretty often is, how do I deal with people in my life who are negative? People who may be naysayers, or they don't believe in the law of attraction, or they're just generally negative type people who bring me down, who don't want to see me succeed. Now this is pretty common, and sometimes it's even family members. Because normally people around us, our family and our friends, they want us to succeed, but often their own egos and their own sort of personal limitations and problems will get in the way of their feelings toward us, and they will subconsciously do things to kind of try to keep us down. This can happen pretty often, and there's a few different ways to deal with it. The first is, if it's a friend, if it's someone that you hang around with and spend time with, think about this. What is this person doing in their life? What are they doing with their life? And if that is not what you want in your life, you have a decision to make. Okay? Now, maybe this is a person that you felt very much in alignment with years ago, but if you've changed and you look at them now, if they've got a lifestyle, if they're attracting things to them that you don't want in your life, then maybe it's time to think about moving on and just being acquaintances with this person, but cut the close friendship. Now, I know that can sound hard. Most of us are very concerned about not wanting to be seen as being snobs or kind of elitist. We want to be seen as, someone who is loyal to our friends. And that's a very good virtue to have, but not at the expense of you not developing and growing as a person. Okay? See, the universe grows and develops. That's what universe, the nature, whatever you want to call it, that's what it does. And as a part of that, that's what you do too. So if you're in a situation where you're not growing and you're not developing, then you're really going contrary to the laws of nature, and you're going to have a rough time, because nature doesn't work that way. It constantly grows, changes, and develops, becoming more, being more. And that's what you have to do to be in the flow of nature, okay? So if you have people around you who aren't doing that, they're not growing, they're not going anywhere, they're not developing in any way and have no interest in that, then that's fine. You don't have to judge them, and I suggest that you don't judge anyone. But if it's something you don't want in your life, if that's not what you want in your life, then I think you have a decision to make. And if it's not, like a close family member or someone like this, then you really should consider limiting the amount of time you spend with that person, or even, if the situation is drastic enough, stop spending time with the person altogether. Don't feel bad about it. Don't judge that person. Don't judge yourself as being a snob or anything else, because you're not. You're not judging that person by saying, I'm going to put my attention elsewhere. You're not. What you're doing is saying, this person is on their path and they're doing what they want, but it's not what I want. What I want is different. So I'm going to focus on something that represents what I want. I'm going to spend my time with people that are developing in the way that I want to develop. Now, if the negative person happens to be someone who is very close to you, like a spouse, for example, or a family member, then maybe you're not in a position where you feel comfortable just completely cutting off the relationship, and you don't want to. And that's understandable. I mean, there is a lot of pressure in society to be close with our families, and of course to be close with our spouses. But if you have someone around you that you're in a relationship with and you do not feel comfortable thinking about separating yourself from the relationship, then you really only have one other choice. And that is to try to align yourself with the best parts of this person, the best things about them. So you try to focus on the parts of this person that are in agreement with what you think. And maybe the person has different ideas, they're going different places than you are, but focus on what you have in common. Focus on the things that are positive about them. And as you do that, you will begin to see them more that way. They will become more that way to you in your experience. So this will keep you from being kind of pulled down by someone else. Now, if someone has a particularly negative vibe, I have some relatives like that and some friends like that. And some people I have had to extricate myself from, just get out of the relationship with these people because they were too negative. And what you focus on is what you're going to get. So if you're giving a lot of attention to these people that are negative, it is going to affect you, okay? And I've had to separate myself from some relationships like that. Others, not so easy to do that with. In the other relationships, I find it much better to just limit the amount of time that I spend with them, and when I am with them, focus on the best sides of them, the sides of them that are the most like me, that are most in alignment with what I want in my life, and even try to be a positive influence on them. The key word there is to control the amount of time you're with them, and maybe even the situations that you're with them in, okay? So you need to take back the control and recognize your responsibility. If you have a situation like this in your life, you do have some decisions to make. They don't have to be difficult. I mean, don't buy into the paradigm that society wants to keep pushing down our throat, that every decision we have to make in life is difficult. If you think that, it will be difficult. It can be quite simple and quite painless, and it can be the best thing for everyone. If there's someone that does not feel empowered and uplifted by being around me, I don't want them to be around me. That's not benefiting my life to bring someone else down. And the fact is, deep inside, everyone feels this way. No one, regardless of what they say, no one really feels that, yes, I want this person in my life, even if I make them miserable, I don't care. That's not right. And they don't really feel that way deep down. On a superficial level, maybe. On the deepest levels, they don't feel that way. Look at your relationships, and if you have people in your life that are a negative influence, either seek to control the amount of time that you spend with them and the amount of influence they have over you, or if the case is extreme enough, simply put yourself outside of that relationship. But remember this, nature abhors a vacuum, and that means when you remove something from your life, you have a person from your life, for example, maybe a friendship that you have to stop if it comes to something so extreme. Then you'll have a hole in your life. You'll have a space there. If you remove yourself from a situation like that, it is important to fill that hole with something else, something more positive that uplifts you and makes you feel good. Now, I'm not talking about getting out of a romantic relationship and immediately getting into a relationship with someone else. I don't mean that, because that's usually a very negative thing, because you come out of one situation and before you've even had time to reevaluate what happened and how you feel and what you want to do, you've already immediately gone into another so you can repeat the same mistakes. And I don't recommend that at all. In these cases, if you come out of a romantic relationship, I recommend that instead of trying to fill that hole in your life with a new person, that you fill it with something new. Maybe some new personal development you're working on. Maybe read some new books. Maybe develop yourself, exercise, join a gym, do yoga, Pilates, something. Fill that void in your life with something else that uplifts you. When you create a space in your life like this, from separating yourself from an old relationship, nature abhors a vacuum, so nature will rush in to fill that hole with whatever you are currently giving your attention to. So make sure that you're focusing on things that you want, things that improve you, that uplift you, that benefit you and empower you.